All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to welcome you to this field inspection mini course. So we're going to be going over a few things today. And so I don't want to waste any of your time. So I'm going to be jumping right into things. But first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Jelana Henson. And you've probably seen me on TikTok. So I've been in the field inspection industry for about 7 years now. Um, I've made pretty lucrative money when I first got into it. I still do field inspections currently today, and but I actually use that as a little side hustle every now and then to fill in the gaps. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible, but I wanted to make sure that I provide you with as much value as possible so that you know what your next steps will be if you want to know more information about this industry. All right. So basically, we're going to go over these field inspections and how you can make money performing these kind of inspections. All right. So let's get started. Basically, let's see here. Basically, I'm gonna tell you, and this is what I learned is that most people are unaware of the field service industry because only 1% of the hiring firms that hire out people like myself, it's only 1% of those companies that actually advertise these jobs. And see, the way that I found these jobs was, I had to do some digging. I actually stumbled upon it, actually with a friend from a friend of mine, actually associate. So I actually stumbled across this this industry. So anyway, so I since that day I've been in it for about 7 years now, and I've been digging deeper and deeper. You know, as I go along, learning along the way, and finding more and more information about the different companies. Because so most field inspections, they don't require any special training or licensing. Me, I was mechanic. I was an auto mechanic. I didn't have any kind of experience in this industry when I first began. All the training was provided to me by each of the companies. So there's not much to this, guys. If you know how to read and know how to follow instructions, this is a very lucrative industry. You can get into it and make a lot of money. Now granted, it really depends on what area you're in. See, I don't know what area you're in. When I was doing this, or when I first started doing it, I was in the Atlanta area, but I have since moved, and now I'm kind of like in a kind of small town, so I don't get as many. However, I still find ways to make it work. All right, so these are the topics that we're going to be going over today. What are field inspections? What are the requirements to become a field inspector? Who hires a field inspector? What are the types of inspections? What is required during the inspection? How much will I get paid? And what is needed to get started, and where do I find these inspections? All right, so those are the things that we're going to be covering today. Now, there may be a subsequent series to this, but this is just a short mini series so that you can gain an understanding of what exactly field inspections are and how you can get involved in this industry. So let's move on now. Oops, it just passed up my stuff. So, first things first, what are field inspections? Basically, field inspectors, they have to personally visit properties and businesses to verify information and then fill out reports for the mortgage lenders, the banks, and insurance companies. Basically, we are the eyes and ears for the banks. We we receive our assignments from home or through our smartphone, email, whatever. And then we go out into the field and complete those jobs. We go out into the field to complete everything, to make sure that everything's done the way that I do it. I receive an email with a job. I make an appointment if necessary, and then I go visit the property and do follow the instructions and do what they're asking me to do. It's just plain and simple, pretty straightforward. Now, so what are the requirements to become an inspector? Now I'm answering these questions based on all the questions that I've been getting about being a field inspector, okay? So if I missed a question, please forgive me. Please feel free to drop a comment and ask me more questions, and I'll be sure to reach back out to you and answer those questions for you. Now, what are the requirements to become an inspector? Like I said before, I got into it with no experience. So there's no special requirements. There is no special training required. You know, all training is provided by the company, and there is no special licensing required to do these types of inspections. A lot of people get them confused because field inspections can cover a wide variety of jobs. But the particular jobs that I refer to, that I do, it doesn't require any of that. All right, so let's keep it going. All right, who hires you as an inspector? Basically, you can get on with companies, but the one at the top totem pole are going to be lending companies, leasing companies, and insurance companies. Those are the companies that issue out these orders to either you directly or to a company and then to you, and you complete these jobs. So that's how you get jobs. These are the people who hire us. It's the banks, it's the leasing companies, it's the insurance companies. All right, so let's move on. So what are the types of inspections? Wow. Well, we've got residential. I mean, we have a whole list, and this is not even the complete list. You know, the thing that I focused on more when it comes to these inspections, I started off with residential. I started off with residential inspections, and then I started moving into uh, commercial inspections, and then I was doing insurance inspections in between, and floor plan inspections. I was doing just about all of these inspections that you see here. All right. So just real quick, I just want to kind of go over what some of these inspections mean. Like for the residential inspections, basically the residential mortgage, basically you go out to a residence, rather it be occupied or vacant, and basically you are verifying if that property is occupied or vacant. That's all you're doing. Sometimes you have to make contact with the person, because with residential mortgage inspections, unless it specifically specifies no contact, you want to knock at the door, because you never want to step on someone's property, taking pictures and, you know, doing all kinds of things, you know, because people will look at you crazy. So I suggest that you go knock at the door and let them know, inform them who you are. All right, now insurance inspections, basically I haven't done insurance inspections. I've done insurance loss drafts and construction progress inspections. But insurance inspections, these are conducted usually before a new insurance policy is issued. That way they can verify, you know, verify that the condition of the home, you know, that there's no hazards or conditions at that home. All right. Commercial inspections, basically that inspect the condition of commercial properties. So it can be any kind of commercial property. If it's a business, then it can be inspected. If it has any kind of loan, any kind of lending attached to that business, then yes, the banks will send someone out to verify to verify that business. A lot of the commercial inspections that I do are business verifications, construction progress reports, collateral inspections, things like that. Because a lot of these things that I have listed here are really, you have an umbrella. So commercial inspections have a certain type of inspections, residential have certain type of inspections, but all together, they're all field inspections. All right, so property preservations. I haven't done any property preservations. I'm not interested in doing because property preservations has to do with clean outs, lockout service, evictions, things of that nature. Winterizing homes. That's not something I want to get into. So I don't have a lot of information on that, but if that's something that you want to do, because you can, with any of these things, you can actually start your own business. You can work from home, doing these things, and have people working for you completing these tasks. That's the beauty of this. This can be your own home business if you choose it to be. So anyway, then you have notary services. I don't do notary services. I'm sure everybody know what a notary is. They go out or, get that stamp to verify, documents and things like that. I will be doing a video on how to become a notary, but I hadn't got to it yet, because notary is going to be different for every state. So you kind of have to do your research about how to become a notary in that particular state. All right. Now, mystery shopping. You've seen me talk about mystery shopping all the time, where you basically go out and you're just not inspecting, but you're just verifying, making sure that that you receive what you ordered, that the people are doing their job. So you're rating the actual company. So you may get paid to go eat at a restaurant because they want you to tell them how the food was, how was the service, how was this, how was that. So that is pretty much straightforward. Merchant credit card inspections, I haven't done those yet. However, where for that, it's just they basically go out to a merchant site and verify that they have a credit card machine going, and verifying the operation of the merchant's credit card. All right, credit card machine. All right, collateral inspections. Basically, collateral inspection is basically like a leased inspection. It's basically, that comes from like the leasing companies. They make sure that their leased equipment is located where it is. I've been in situations where I've done a whole lot of lease inspections, and I actually been into a situation where uh, the equipment was not on the site. The borrower uh, borrowed money from the bank and said they purchased the equipment. However, the equipment was not there. That is why we, are the eyes and the ears for the bank. Okay, so those are what collateral inspections are, basically lease inspections. All right, now construction progress inspections. Now I did a video on this the other day on TikTok about what is construction progress inspections. Basically, this is where we, as an inspector, go in and verify the construction progress of a business. Okay, um, so the lending company wants to make sure that work is being performed, that their money is being used the way that the contractor or the owner is saying that it's being used. All right, so we want to verify how much work has been done. And it's also so that contractors who are working at that site can actually be paid for their work. All right, delinquency inspection goes more with residential mortgage inspections. Actually, residential and commercial, because both can fall delinquent. Basically, that's when you go out, you're checking on homes or you're checking on businesses that are behind in their payments. Because sometimes people abandon the property. So the banks want to know if if that property is still occupied, is the business still running, is the homeowner still living there, whatever the case may be. All right, occupancy inspections. Basically, it's just about the same thing. You verifying if a property is occupied or vacant. It usually goes with residential mortgage inspections. Drive-by inspections. The next one is drive-by inspections. um, those, what from my knowledge and from my experience, I usually find that drive-by inspections usually they're usually you, you cannot make contact with anybody at that property, whether it's business or residential. You cannot make contact, and basically sometimes the BPO, which is broker price opinion. I don't get into that too much, so I'm not gonna go into detail about BPOs, but basically they are evaluating the condition or the assessment, the price assessment of the home. um, Now, also for drive-by inspections, I also noticed for drive-by inspections that uh, it could be a, the company or the homeowner has gone into bankruptcy, and with bankruptcy inspections we're not allowed to make any contact. All right, the next one up is floor plan inspections. Now, all of this stuff sounds all techy, but actually is not. If you learn the terminology, you'll be able to, determine which inspections to go for. Okay, so floor plan inspections um, basically you are documenting inventory at a company, and this usually falls up under commercial. All right. So for floor plan, like, let me just give you an example. I've done several floor plan inspections by going to a car dealership. And so I am verifying their inventory because the banks want to know if what assets has been sold, what is still on site, and where their collateral is. They want to know where their collateral is. So basically you're just taking inventory of um, whatever your work order is saying. Okay. The next one up is foreclosure inspections. This is when we go out and maybe leave a notice at a door. I don't really get into foreclosure inspections. As a matter of fact, I really stopped getting into residential inspections, period. I'd rather focus more on commercial stuff. And then insurance loss drafts. Insurance loss drafts is basically the same thing as a construction progress inspection. However, for insurance loss draft, is usually for residential stuff. All right. And basically, let's just say the homeowner uh, home flooded. So they had to, had contractors out and they had to remove all the carpet, drywall, and whatever else. We basically go out and document, take pictures, document what that home looks like. And if contractors are on site or contractors are working, we are basically documenting, the progress of the contractor's work. So it's basically the same thing as a construction progress inspection. All right, so I hope that was clear. If you have any questions on that, I just kind of wanted to kind of run through those pretty quickly. So what is required during an inspection? All right, basically, like I was telling you earlier, some require you to set, some of the jobs require you to set an appointment, with the point of contact before completing the job or before going to that location. For commercial inspections, I usually don't have any issues getting in contact with the person that I need to talk to set an appointment, and they're usually pretty available. Usually commercial properties are usually pretty available for me to go out and set an appointment and knock it out. All right, a typical assignment will request several photos at the location. So once you set an appointment, you've gone to the location, you just have to take several photos, and most photos that you have to do is like usually about 7 to 15 photos. That's it. You know, you got your front exterior down each side of the street. You know, it's different for each one. So I don't want to get into particulars about what photos you have to take, but it's usually 7 to 15 photos that you need to take at a location. And then once you've taken your photos, you fill out a short questionnaire that they give you. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to what questions they're asking you so that you can, as you're taking your pictures, you can actually look at those things, look for those things while you're at that location. So how much will you get paid? Well, it's different for everybody. I mean, each client pays differently, depends on where you're located. I mean, it's kind of hard to put a number on it, but typical assignments will pay between $4 and $150 if you are working for a company. Now, if you are working, so meaning if you are receiving assignments from different companies, that is the typical assignment pay. Now, if you have started your own business, have your own licensing, like and not licensing, but insurance and all of that kind of stuff, most people can't afford the liability insurance sometimes for working for yourself, because I think a lot of these companies require you to have like $1 million liability insurance in case you mess up. So that's the reason why I prefer to just work for a company, do individual assignments for different companies. But anyway, each typical assignments will pay between $4 and $150. All right, now I've already expressed this. Residential are the lowest paying, so I don't focus on residential at all, at all. Now, if that's something that you want to get into, I want to provide you that information. But I focus mainly on commercial and insurance inspections because insurance is the middle as far as pay, and commercial inspections pay the highest. They pay $25 and up. You know, and $25 could be the lowest, but one of the companies that I work for is like my base is $25 plus, one of the companies I work for, base is 25 plus I get mileage, time there, time back home, processing time, um, and things like that. So all of that stuff is calculated into one payment. And what do you need to get started? You have to be 18 years or older. Some of them, I forgot to put background check on here, but you may have to pass a background check. Have a digital camera or smartphone, access to a computer, internet access, have a printer, a reliable vehicle, and have enough income to support you until you receive your first paycheck. Because remember, this is a 1099 position. So basically, you are an independent contractor, and the company is not going to front you any money to complete these jobs. All right, so you have to make sure that you have enough income to support yourself, to be able to complete assignments until you receive your first paycheck from the companies. And last but not least, where do I find these inspections? Well, um, it's kind of difficult. I'm not going to say it's difficult to find. If you do a Google search, you can Google field inspections. But from my experience on Google, um, I've only, you find some inspections out there, but a lot of them say home inspector. This is not a home inspector. Home inspector requires special licensing. Okay. So, it took me some digging to learn all this information that I'm sharing with you. The other option that you have is you can go to jcreativewealth.com/side gigs welcome. And that's where, or you can go on my TikTok bio and find the same link there. But you can go to that website, and I have a list of all the companies that I've actually worked for that actually pays. And you feel more than welcome to sign up for everything that I have there or check them all out. Those are my two suggestions because I am constantly updating that page every time I um, talk about another side gig or another inspection company that you can sign up for. I'm constantly updating that list. Now, and so you feel more than free to visit this website and check out that page. Well, that's pretty much about does it. Like I said, I did not want to, make this video very long. And just to kind of wrap things up, let me stop sharing my screen here for just a second. All right, just to wrap things up, guys, this business can be very lucrative. It can be. And like I said, there's so many factors involved in it. Where you live, if you're living in a city, if you're living in a rural area, you know. So with all those things considered, you have to decide what is going to be best for you because city areas you'll get more work, rural areas not so much. So I try to, because I sort of live in a rural area, I have to travel a little further to do my jobs. So you have to see if that's actually worth it for you because, you know, sometimes you may not feel it's worth it. So with that being said, there are all sorts of ways that you can find to work from home to earn additional income. And so I really want to invite you to, take a look at my page and check those companies out because I just want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to get started in this industry because and they was talking about maybe the housing market is about to crash again. I have no idea, no idea whatsoever. But if that's the case, residential would be great to get into. But right now, it's that's totally up to you. I'm going to allow you to make those decisions for yourself. Again, like I said, I focus more on commercial stuff. So again, I hope you enjoyed this training. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. I hope you gained a lot of value. If you did, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel because I may be putting out some more series and breaking down, how all of these inspections work. All right. So until the next time, it's our time to be free.